on the bench here is Elna Lotus SP. I worked on this one a few months ago, and the hook drive gear was certainly functional a few months ago when it passed its stitch test, but since it developed this crack, and because that crack propagated across the face, the teeth all got ground off of it. So obviously hook drive gear failed after time. Replacement, this one is from Brewer, 408-101-40. It's another thing that's easy enough to do, but just takes a lot of disassembling the machine. I didn't video ripping it apart. The main covers, I took those off when I did the service, but there's 2 screws here, and then the end cover and the side covers come off. Make sure that you keep track of the washers that go on either end of the pins. The bottom cover is just 4 screws with the feet, and then to get space to slide this shaft, you do have to just loosen the end with the motor and pull the hand wheel and motor off to the side, so that they give you just that extra teeny bit of space to slide this shaft. This gear has 2 set screws on it because it times, and then there's this plastic cam with a pin, and it has, because it's pinned, it's got 2 positions, but the bulb on this cam is down, matched on this pin. This will slide sideways if you're not careful. There's a retainer collar. This is the other thing that keeps you in, or keeps the shaft from moving. So loosen the 2 set screws on this gear, loosen this retainer collar, and then you need to take out 1, 2, 3 screws from this bracket that holds the hook, and just sort of lift that out of the way so that you've got room for this gear to slide. It unmeshes the hook gear, and this gear, or this shaft, will then slide sideways. There's also a pin that drives the gear from the top to the bottom. These 2 pins here are lined up, and you want both of the cam lobes that match these pins to be facing the same direction when you put these pins back into this drive gear and that cam gear, right? So the shaft slides to the side here. It slides all the way over, so you've got room to put take the old gear off and put the new gear on, and then you have to slide it back in position. And there's always a challenging bit when there's the lever that goes on this, or that rides on this cam, needs to get lifted a little bit, and then get our pins in place. And once we have this shaft reassembled, both of the pins with both cams down, push the collar back over, and this collar, of course, is just retainer, so it's only got to get one set screw tightened. And now that it's in place, we need to work the top to bottom drive belt on. This top to bottom drive belt is bigger on top, so it should. Okay, I did have it set in the right spot. Okay. And I just put a bit of marker to match this lobe. There. All right. So, did I? Yep. Marker matched the lobe, and I set it so that that lobe was. Maybe it's not. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I think that is going to be in the right spot, but we'll have to double check it here. The good news is we can move this while the end cover is in place. So let me pop the end cover back on here really quick. So the end cover has the motor mounted to it. The hand wheel is bigger than the end cover, but there's also wiring up into the machine for the lamp. So you can never just take the whole thing out. You can only loosen it here. The good news is that all of the screws are regular thread. And that's actually one of the major benefits of having the hand wheels turn forward, is that you can use standard thread screws to retain the hand wheel. For machines like White and other machines that have the hand wheel turned backwards, a retainer screw on the hand wheel has to be reverse threaded so that it will hold. Okay, so those two cams that are pinned onto that shaft are the all right. What? Alright, well, when I put the hand wheel on, suddenly this locked up, so I need to check that. Okay, I missed the cross pin on the upper shaft. When I had this in the first time, it was pulled out and there was a longer gap in here, but now it's in on the shaft, and now that it's properly on the cross pin on the upper shaft, then the upper shaft can turn. So that's the thing about the Elna cross pin for all the timings. If you miss the pin when you're trying to get something on a shaft blind like this, it can feel like you hit it, and the shaft might turn a little bit, and then when you tighten your screw, you'll end up with a bind. So that's what I had suspected, but I didn't want to faff about until I knew. Okay, with this turning now, we need to get our gear mesh set again, because I pivoted this out of the way to get the old gear out. So there's not a lot of motion here, but it is still 3 screws, and we want to just make sure that this is pushed against the new drive gear and not pivoted up out of the way. So the nice thing about helical gear fits like this is that, generally speaking, a push snug is like, I just push it so that they're touching, and I'm not, putting pressure on that when I do it. I just push them till they're together and then tighten the screws, and that should, tighten one of the set screws on that gear before we feel it, but it should be the right amount of that feels pretty good. So the old set screws were 2mm, but the new ones are 2.5. Oh yeah, that feels good. Alright, so just gonna loosen the set screw back up again a little bit there. Let's take a look at timing this then. It's very hard to see, but we're on the front of the Elna. I've removed the needle plate, and to time this, we're going to do just the same thing we do with everything else. We're going to set this for the widest zigzag that it has, and then because the hook travels from right to left behind the needle, we need to time it with the needle on the left. So we're gonna plunge, bring ourselves up, because the needle height was good on this machine when I had it last, and I'm gonna bring the eye to a spot where it's gonna be just below where the needle should, or the hook should go, and then I'm gonna have to rotate the hook by hand, loosen that set screw, and rotate the hook by hand until it's in the right spot. I had this timed, and you can watch this from underneath too. There's the hook going by, and then the needle should come down. Oh, it's on the other side, so we'll spin that real quick. And then there's the needle coming down, and the hook coming around just as the needle begins to go up. It looks off from this angle, but I did check it from every other angle up top, and the eye is just below the hook right now.